Hey folks, here are OS Reviews. In this video, we'll take a closer look at a Samsung S Pen designed for the Galaxy Note series and kind of discuss the technology behind it, as well as answer whether it works with other tablet PCs, perhaps made also by Samsung, maybe some of their Windows tablets that can also work with these type of active digitizer pens. So the technology inside of here is actually the same as you'll find on a Wacom-based tablet input device or a graphic art tablet, USB one may be designed for a Mac or a PC, and it's essentially using electromagnets that creates a magnetic field. And since you have magnetic fields, the technology itself is in recognizing, its position within the kind of induction that's created. The pen's position within this field gets transferred into the software side of things, where it applies to things such as position, as well as pressure, and how much force you're exerting on the pen tip. So all of these things are then mapped onto your drawing app, for instance, and hence you have pressure sensitivity. And also you no longer need things such as batteries to be replaced on these pens, even though they can apply pressure. So that's pretty cool technology. And of course, if you saw the pen open, you'll have access to things like circuit boards, coils on the inside as the antenna. So it definitely does have a bit of tech hidden behind this plastic material. And as far as the design is concerned, the S Pen is a pretty small active digitizer pen. There's not too much going on. There's a bit of grooves going on, which makes it slightly easier to hold, and on the chrome accented part you have the Samsung logo, and the phone itself that it came bundled with the Galaxy Note, if you eject the pen, the phone detects that, and the sensor is located within the pen slot, and so once you take it off, there is an automatic launcher for some quick apps you can use to draw and doodle with. There's also a quick launch key that is reprogrammed into many different tasks depending on the software you're using, from delete to acting as the eraser to going back home. All of those things can be set up. The pen itself isn't the most comfortable thing in the world just because it is so small. If I kind of compare it to another active drawing pen, here is the 110 Designs Pogo Connect. You can really see the size difference here, but they made it small so that it can fit very easily and in a lightweight fashion into the Galaxy Note. But writing on it, it works. It's pretty decent. It's very lightweight, but obviously not the most premium experience in the world. But again, you do have hundreds of levels of pressure sensitivity located on this little tip here, this nub, which on the Galaxy Note pens, I believe, cannot be replaced. So that's the technology. As far as whether or not it works with other Samsung tablets, as well as other graphic tablets, in addition to maybe Windows tablets that also support a Wacom pen input device, the answer is actually yes, which I was pretty surprised to find. So this is a Samsung Slate PC 7 series, which is a Windows 7, now running Windows 10 PC that Samsung released a few years back, and it has a pretty powerful internals, for its time, as well as for the fact that it's a slim tablet. It could support an optional stylus accessory produced by Samsung, technically also using the Wacom technology, but it's a lot fatter, a lot more similar to the 110 stylus I showed you guys a few seconds ago, so that this one actually has the same technology built on in, so you can see that everything is supported. Now, the only thing that's a little bit different in this case is that the calibration per device really varies with these pens. So even though the technology is the same and it's recognized as a cursor point or a touch point, sometimes the depth and how far in terms of how hard I'm pressing corresponds to what gets triggered on screen doesn't match 100%. So you can see here that even hovering just slightly actually allows me to press on something, whereas obviously with the Galaxy Note you have to actually be a lot closer to the display for it to trigger something. So that means if I want to select something, all I have to do is kind of hover in the air and actually is pressing the key. So it's not going to be as easy to use for drawing apps unless you figure out a way to kind of recalibrate the pen with this specific tablet, and that's a lot trickier to find. But there are tutorials and ways on how you can do that. But you can see here, if I actually tap on the key, it does work, but sometimes it's not as responsive. I have to hover and then kind of tap in the air for it to register. So technology, it does work, but it's not perfect. As a demo, I've opened up Microsoft Paint, and you can see that the stylus, again, can be used to draw and doodle even without technically touching on it. It seems pretty cool at first, but it really takes a lot of time to get used to it if you actually want to use this as a real kind of accessory or input device to your tablet. And I tried this out with a few other tablet PCs, and there were a few non-made by Samsung that also worked with this as an input device and recognized it in the same way, but the way that the pressure sensitivity works was a little bit off, so that you have to really kind of be hovering to even write, and if you press all the way down, sometimes it doesn't actually register. So as you can see here, if I actually press down, sometimes it actually doesn't become really responsive. And if I unpress, it's a little hard to control where the pen stops, where it doesn't stop. So you have to really lift the pen all the way up to ensure that you're not accidentally triggering something. But if I want to write something like OS reviews, you can see that it kind of works. And really the only thing that's missing here is calibration, changing this kind of depth as well as its sensitivity so that it works better with this tablet. If I tilt it, it also does still work. Sometimes it's a little bit less sensitive, but you can see that it still writes and works even at these slanted degrees and angles. So anyways, this was just a quick video just kind of showcasing the Galaxy S Pen, whether or not it can technically work with other accessories that have Wacom enabled to work with active digitizers. And the stylus is pretty versatile in the sense that it will work with these other products, but it's not perfect and again does require some adjustment. So thanks for watching this video here at OS Reviews. This was a closer look at the Samsung S Pen.